Welcome back to the Amplifier, your one-stop shop for music yappage. I'm your host, Jason Paul Kim. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe to the Amplifier YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Spotify. I think I made a TikTok too. Honestly, you don't have to follow. Just follow us on the YouTube channel. Check us out on Spotify. I made like one clip and I was like, this is so much work. I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. I'm not going to lie. Maybe someday when it's big enough that I could like justify doing that work, maybe I could hire someone. That's a pipe dream. Usually I try to break the ice with like some, small talk of like, how's your week or whatever. But we have a lot to talk about today. So we're not doing that. First off, the one and only Taylor Allison Swift announced a new album, TS12, baby. We're finally here. I say finally, like she didn't drop 30-something songs last year, but I'm happy nonetheless. She announced it on Travis Kelce's podcast, which was a really cute way of doing it. I think that's the first time they've ever done some like press-related thing together. And it was kind of, I'm not going to lie, I felt a little bit parasocial. Listening to them, seeing them banter a little bit. I saw on TikTok that they're getting some backlash for like not having good chemistry. I don't know if you guys are listening to the same podcast. I thought they were really cute because they're like just so obviously different from each other. She's like this like Shakespearean, use all these big words and talks about all these like literary pieces of literature. And he just plays video games and is like, yeah. Dude, when she uses big words, oh my God, that's so hot. She's so fine when she uses an extensive vocabulary, bro. But that's besides the point, all right? Because we're here to talk about the life of a showgirl, which is going to be Taylor Swift's 12th album. I think I can name all of them right now, right out, without looking at anything, all right? We're going to go debut is called Taylor Swift. Fearless, Speak Now, Red, 1989, Reputation. That's the first 6. Did my fingers wrong if you're watching, but it's the first 6. Lover, right? Folklore, Evermore. That's 9. Midnights, that's 10. Torture Pose Department Anthology. It's like a double album, so you know. And then The Life of a Showgirl. I'm a real fan. What can I say? Now, this is very fast for Taylor. Usually she does like 2 years. Every other year she'll drop an album. And she's been pretty consistent with that for her entire career. But now we're getting back-to-back years. Torture Pose did drop last summer, right? Yeah, it is back-to-back years. I'm not tripping. Okay. Look at us getting spoiled. Very nice to see. I'm pretty happy right now. It's a tight 12 tracks, which I personally really love to see because I've always been a fan of more concise albums. You can go back and watch my other Tortured Post Department videos. I did one on the regular album and the anthology. And for both of them, I had pretty much the same complaint, which is that a lot of the songs follow this really continuous kind of extra literary style of lyricism that was using fancy words and crazy metaphors, and it's like it's cool to read, but everything musically about that album was just kind of average. It was just kind of average. And in the podcast, she actually did mention that that was not her priority. Her priority with that album was not making good songs. It was really just writing nice lyrics and being super overly indulgent in that lyrical style that she's become pretty well known for since Folklore, I feel like. And I'm not gonna lie, that style of writing is like not my favorite. I think Folklore is a great album, probably one of my favorite albums of the decade, which if you haven't listened to last week's episode, we talked about that a little bit, so definitely go check it out. But especially with TTPD, I just think she kind of beat it into the ground. I was not very impressed with those two albums. I thought there was some nice songs, but a lot of it was just poems that she sang. I don't really be memorizing poems. I don't really be, reciting poems on my downtime. That's not something I do. However, this album really excites me for 2 reasons. Actually, a lot of reasons, but we're just going to stick with the main 2, which is A, on the podcast, she really made it a big point that this album is going to stress the musical aspects of these songs over any storytelling, over any fancy words, without losing that lyrical style entirely, which is what I wanted, what I really wanted to see. It's not like I wanted her to revert back to her like fearless, dreamy high school romance style of songwriting. But my hope is that with this new album, she's going to be able to find a middle ground, using some of that fancier wordplay and just using her more mature perspective on life, we could say, right? Because Fearless, which has a lot of songs that I really like, she wrote that when she was like, 18? Obviously I'm going to want to see some growth in her perspective now that she's in her mid-30s. But you could have a mature perspective in music while still making some pop bangers. Still with some catchy tunes. This is 12 songs. I want 12 earworms. Apparently that's what we're going to get, but I think I'll be the judge of that. When the album drops, you can all listen to me and I'll tell you whether or not it's worth listening to. Kidding, it was a joke. I know a lot of Swifties take stuff very literally. The second thing that really excites me is, a detail that I mentioned in my TTPD videos, which on a side note, for a while, when you looked up TTPD Anthology on Google, my video showed up. That's pretty cool. I'm actually going to see if it still does that. For a while, it was like the first video that popped up on Google. And it's not anymore. How sad. But in that video, I stressed that Jack Antonoff, while being a very great music producer pop music producer, we'll say. He worked on the new Kendrick album too a little bit, GNX. Some good work there too. While Jack Antonoff and Taylor have had a very fruitful, business relationship with each other. Lots of great bangers they've written. I think they're milking it a little much. I think she needed to move on or move away from him just for a little bit. Just to take a step back, because I feel like he was getting a little bit complacent, a little bit comfortable with the style that they developed. So to see that she is working with Max freaking Martin, oh my God, bro. You could not get me more excited for this album, I swear. For those of you that don't know, Max Martin is the guy that did Eternal Sunshine. He's also the guy that did literally freaking every pop banger from the 2000s. He's a music producer legend. I knew who Max Martin was before I started making YouTube videos about pop music. And for those of you that don't know, before I started making YouTube videos about pop music, I didn't know anything about I never listened to Ariana Grande. Now look at me. I'm obsessed. So that should go to show how big of a deal Max Martin is. And they've had a working relationship for a while. I think he did a lot of the 1989 songs and some of the songs on Red. But to see that, this very tight team is her, Max Martin, and Shellback is the third person, who I think is another co-writer / producer that she worked with on 1989. Is this going to be 1989, the sequel? I don't know. I hope, maybe. Regardless, I think Taylor Swift has definitely, we'll say, revolutionized this whole singer-songwriter style. Her last album showed that just no one does it like her. No one does the little cute guitar ballads or heartbreak songs like she does. All right, that's just a known fact. But to see that she's looking to make a stylistic change here and she's looking to jumpstart a new era is really exciting to me, because after Tortured Pose Apartment, I'm going to be fully honest, I thought there was a possibility that she just kept making music like that. Kind of got lazy because she was at a point where anything she released would do well. She's still at that point right now. Any music she releases will do well. But even the choice to, tighten up her songwriting team and go back to the pop sound she had for maybe 10 years ago tells me that she still has ambition. And that's honestly really what excites me over everything else. She definitely is looking to create more good music and to just keep her career thriving and alive. Let's take a look at this track list. We got this image, which is like her in like some diamondy dress looking thing. I think a lot of the aesthetic for this is very kind of Gatsby era kind of look, with like the fancy dresses and like the feathers and like the flapper vibes. I don't know. Track 1 is called The Fate of Ophelia. I believe that is a Hamlet reference. I don't really know texts. Elizabeth Taylor. Who's Elizabeth? Let's look this up right now. Why don't we just do this all live on the podcast? Unfortunately, I got to get this out by tomorrow, so there is going to be no visual coinciding with me doing all this research, but I'll just talk about it. Elizabeth Taylor is a actress, American actress. Okay, we're just going to say she's like an old-timey. It looks like Marilyn Monroe era, just because like her makeup style and her hair. So that's what I'm assuming. Opalite. Okay, so we're keeping all these like really weird words, which like I'm fine with. Maybe that if that's her style, that's what she likes. She likes like this type of fancy literature. By all means. Opalite is a man-made iridescent glass that is often mistaken for a natural opal. So maybe that's going to be a metaphor of like something that looks really naturally pretty, but actually is a lot of effort put into it. If we're talking about the life of a showgirl, I know it looks like I have all my stuff together, but really there's a lot of work that goes into doctoring my public image, or at least the image I have when I'm on stage. That's like not authentic. Father Figure, track 4. There's a John Bellion song called Father Figure. Eldest Daughter too, track 5. Isn't there a Lorde song called Eldest Daughter? Is she just like one by one making songs that other artists have so that when you look up the other artist's song, it's going to be hers instead? Because she's obviously going to dunk on them when it comes to streams. Ruin the Friendship, that's definitely another already existing song on Spotify. 7 is Actually Romantic. Maybe it's going to be like, all those past relationships, they were romantic kind of, but this one's actually romantic. I think I got it. Wishlist is going to be like a Bejeweled type banger. Where she's like flexing because there's a $ in the S and on both S's in wish list. 9 is Wood. Could either be sexual or it could tie back to Out of the Woods, or it could be sexual. I already said that, but like it could be like referring to a dude's wood, Number 10 is Canceled. Canceled with all caps with the exclamation point. Grr. Track 11 is called Honey. Big Time Rush has a song called Honey. It's not getting any more streams after this. And 12 obviously is The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter. I really like to see that feature because that tells me that these are really going to be some fun pop songs, right? Because I think if you look at all her past projects, Red, she has Everything Has Changed with freaking Ed Sheeran. It's a really nice kind of poppy acoustic song, like what Ed Sheeran would make. Whenever she collabs with Phoebe Bridgers, it's very Phoebe Bridgery. Go to Fall Out Boy. Whenever she collaborates with Fall Out Boy, it's very Fall Out Boy-y. Sabrina Carpenter is a feature. Love to see it. I hope that song is good. If that song is good, it's actually going to be revolutionary. okay? Because the two powerhouses, two pop powerhouses on one song. I saw some speculation online that I think probably before the track list came out that Taylor Swift was gonna have a song with Ariana Grande. Oh my god, if that happened, I think I would actually crap my pants. This promotional art for the track list is low-key giving Yes and vibes. Like this right here, she kind of has like a close-up on her lips, on her red lips. That's giving very Eternal Sunshine, Yes and era. Overall, I like to see that she's retaining the style, because I feel like if she went back to just kind of really simple, basic pop songs, it would feel a little inauthentic. But to see that she's like, no, I'm a much more seasoned songwriter. I'm much more profound and like fancier and kind of highbrow, but like in a cool way, I guess. To see that she's, you know, retaining that style and that aesthetic, but just applying it to like some more upbeat, fun songs, hopefully. Arguably, two of the things that she does best is writing good, catchy pop songs and some really fancy lyrical stuff. Putting those two worlds together could result in probably one of her best albums. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat 1989 and Red, because those are just like two lightning in a bottle albums, if you ask me. So, dude, Speak Now is so good. Like, I feel like not a lot of people talk about that one because it's like one of the older ones, and like her songwriting style is so much younger there. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there's so many bangers on it. It's such a consistent album. Oh my god. Maybe I gotta revisit some of her old albums. I thought about doing that for like a series on the channel. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I don't want to milk it too hard though, because I feel like I already have so many Taylor Swift videos. My Taylor Swift playlist probably has like 20 videos in it. But at the same time, it's like I'm really hyped for this album. I'm sure a lot of you watching are also really hyped. Let's pregame together, you know? I technically never did an album reaction to Fearless. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do an album reaction to Midnight's. Reaction. Not a review. I've done reviews for a lot of her albums. I haven't done reactions for that many. So I posted on my main channel community tab asking you guys to drop some of your theories for the upcoming album. And, you know, I got a lot of likes, but not a lot of comments. I think I worded it weirdly. So for like when people first saw it, they didn't realize I was saying no to literally comment what you thought. Because it's like, drop your opinions. But it could sound like I'm saying like, no, drop them because mine is the only one that matters. I don't know. We got like 9 comments, so we're just going to read all of them. Redbud4768 says, it's going to get more radio play than TTPD by a mile. I'm going to have to agree with that. I think the Sabrina song alone is going to be one of her like biggest collaborations of her career as far as like 2 big names in pop at the moment. Because if you think about like Ed Sheeran's collab with like Everything Has Changed, that was obviously really big, but Ed Sheeran hadn't really hit that stride of being an A-list pop star. Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift are the 2 biggest female pop stars right now. That's just how it is. I mean, Billie Eilish is, but I don't really see Billie Eilish as like a pop star in the same way. She's just kind of like an artist. I don't really know. It depends who you ask. So I think if that song is really good, 100%. Also, in general, you know, it's Max Martin, so it's going to be good. You know, there's going to be a level to it where, like, yes, it's definitely going to get more radio play than the sad ballads with the, you know, flat Jack Antonoff synths. Candace W2437 says, I think there'll be some rock-leaning elements. Interesting. You know, I would say just looking at the aesthetic of the album cover and the promotional art alone, I could definitely see that. That would be really cool too. Something like Eyes Open, you know, that like vault track that got released later. More stuff like that would be so sick. But I think the fact that she's working with Max Martin kind of shuts that theory down. Because he's just like pop. That's just what he is, you know? If we could see a return to like some more traditional instruments though, that would be dope. Like, because I'm a little bit tired of her, like, synth poppy stuff. Midnight's really did it well, and then I was like, okay, we're bringing it back for TTPD. It's getting kind of old. Showgirl makes me think of I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, and I really hope the album will be more poppy and upbeat than TTPD. Me too. Definitely the aesthetic of that song is very reminiscent of, like, the Bejeweled kind of sound of, like, you know, upbeat and fun and happy. I'm hoping for something with a little bit more depth in that song. That song is really catchy and I like it. But if that's the basis of the stuff we're going to get on this album emotionally, I think I'd be very disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I mean, what makes that song work well is the irony of it, right? But it's just, I don't know. The Life of Pablo reference? Maybe. I mean, I feel like the style title of The Life of something is not something that Kanye like patented or something he made up. I guess you could kind of see like that. That's kind of a stretch. 1989 Part 2 would be dope. I particularly would love to see the incorporation again of just traditional instruments, some electric guitars, some like real drum kits. I think that's a sound that pop is kind of missing right now, and I think it'd be very nice. And then last comment from Patty Rat Trick. My theory is you will react to Gracie Abrams before you react to this. That's a horrible theory, man. Other than that, though, I'm just excited to listen to it. Even if I don't like the songs that much, you know, new Taylor Swift is always a treat. I'm always curious to see where she takes her career, where she takes her sound. And I'm sure in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be a very memorable era. Because look at these outfits, bro. Kind of crazy. Guys, you're not going to believe it. Okay, earlier this week, Demi Lovato joined the Jonas Brothers at MetLife Stadium and sang Camp Rock songs. Dude, you don't understand how much anger I'm filled with right now. Because they went on some radio show like the week before, and they were like, "Oh, you never know, the MetLife Stadium show might have some special guests, so you might want to pop out." And I looked over to my brother when I saw the clip, and I was like, "It's gonna be Demi." Demi's been more active on TikTok. I actually happened to coincidentally look up when she became more active on TikTok. I looked up if she was working on any new stuff, and she is. My family coincidentally also freaking watched Camp Rock literally last week, and we were like, wow, this music is slaps. I should really get back into it. And when we saw that radio clip, we just assumed that it was going to be later. You know, this is a lesson for all of you guys. Always act now in the moment. Never put it off for later, because then you might miss it. Because I missed what potentially could have been one of the greatest moments of my life. Seeing my childhood reenacted right in front of me. And they're probably never going to do it again. They sang Wouldn't Change a Thing, which is one of my favorite Disney Channel songs ever. S-tier Disney Channel song. A great duet that still holds up, like, regardless of whether or not it came from a great-ass movie. Because I think Joe and Demi have such great voices. Like, and it's so rare to pin two artists, and we'll just throw in of opposite genders as well. You know, that's the whole market itself. It's 2025 though, so, you know, LGBTQ ally right here. But I'm just saying, where they're like on equal ground as far as like talent goes, a lot of the time someone's gonna be mogging the other. Like, I'm not gonna lie, The Weeknd has a pretty solid voice. When Ariana hops on Save Your Tears, she's mogging the hell out of him. This is one of the few songs that's a power pop ballad duet where they, in my opinion, are on equal ground, are equally as talented, and they're both really great singers. Probably the two most talented vocalists to come out of the Disney machine. Miley Cyrus has her sound, but I would still take Demi's voice over hers, because Demi's also got a killer range. Dude, remember, you know the song Heart Attack? Oh my god, that was my banger for so many years, but specifically because she sings so damn high on it, and she sounds so good. I can't wait to get more Demi. Her single was kind of she did drop a single recently that was kind of Charlie XCX vibes. I wanna go fast, I wanna go hard. It's not really her. I haven't listened to all of Holy Fuck, but the songs that I have listened to off that album were so great because it feels like she was just letting her voice run wild, doing every little high run and every little high note that she wanted to do, that she could do, busting out all the stops. And it was just so satisfying. So my hope is that she doesn't lose that entirely with her new album and just go full Charlie XCX. I know it's what a lot of other artists are doing these days, but Demi, don't waste your voice. I want to be able to hear your voice. That's all I'll say. So yeah, they did Wouldn't Change a Thing, S-tier Disney song. I'm so sad that I didn't get to see it, although I have those clips forever on TikTok. I almost cried, I'm not gonna lie, but it's cool. That kind of goes into our third piece of news, which is apparently the Jonas Brothers kind of accidentally announced that they're working on Camp Rock 3. Why can't Disney Channel just create some new ideas, bro? First, it's the Wizards of Beyond Waverly Place. I was actually really happy when they announced it. Then I watched an episode and I was like, oh, this is ass. And obviously there's Raven's Home. Like, what's next? High School Musical 4? Oh, wait, they already did kind of try to reboot High School Musical series with High School Musical series. And that was, like, one of the, like, kind of decent ones just because Olivia Rodrigo. But other than that, well, were you going to try and just replicate that formula over and over again? I don't really like to see it personally as an ex-Disney fan when I was younger. But at the same time, I really don't care. If anything, it's kind of nice. So maybe I should just retract everything I just said in that rant, because people of this generation are going to hopefully get the same type of enjoyment that I got out of the regular Wizards of Waverly Place, or the original High School Musical, or the original Camp Rock. You know that when Camp Rock 3 drops, I'm watching it day one. If Joe Jonas and Kevin Jonas and Nick Jonas and Demi Lovato are all coming back, 100% there. I'm set, bro. Music release radar. We have had two big staples of the pop music scene drop albums today. And, you know, as we mentioned last week's episode, there's a lot of albums coming out this month. August is the hottest month of the year to drop music, I guess. But this week in particular, we had Wishbone by Conan Gray, which is his fourth studio album. Again, we're seeing some tighter turnaround times for these albums from him, similar to Taylor Swift, because he literally dropped Found Heaven last year. Probably less than a calendar year ago. I'm not really sure. Maybe like around a year. Now, I've only listened to one of the singles for this album. It's called like This Song or something, and it was okay. I saw him play it live, and that was pretty cool. But I also saw him play so many of his older songs, and I realized how great his older stuff is. And I think this song feels kind of hollow in comparison to those other ones. But I'm still looking forward to listening to the album. I gotta see if I could figure out time to film that video. But I just have a lot of other projects going on, because again, I got the damn video in the kitchen right now. That's taking priority one, while also juggling my podcast and the movies channel and so much stuff. I'm a busy guy. But I'll hopefully get around to Wishbone probably after the Sabrina Carpenter album. I think I'm gonna go Damn, Sabrina Carpenter, and then come back around to all the pop albums I missed this month with Wishbone, Bite Me, maybe the Leve one, and yeah. We also have Love Is Like by Maroon 5 that dropped this past week. I've heard some of the singles. They're pretty interesting. They feel kind of reminiscent of Overexposed vibes, which I don't know how familiar you guys are with Maroon 5's albums, because at this point, am I like an old head for liking Maroon 5's older music? Like, do younger kids even know Maroon 5's music like that? But it definitely seems like they're taking a step in the right direction from their last album, Geordie, which I love to see. It doesn't feel like we're fully back to that great kind of indie-ish sound, but we're probably never going to get there again. For now, this like really simple pop, traditional instruments, nice high electric guitar vibe is cool. The Lisa song, the song I did with Lisa was pretty decent. My song of the week is Subway by Chaperone. I'm a little late to the bandwagon. I've known about the song for a while, but it was really this past week that made me love it. It's just such a good song. I mean, we know Chaperone doesn't miss. The Giver is also really good, but I think Subway is like a softer, just nicer song. And I love her vocals on it too. She sings so damn high. Love seeing all the covers of it on TikTok as well. It's just really fun and interesting. I always love when a song has something about it that makes it unique. Whether it's like a cute little flow or cute little lyrics or a cute little run that gets a lot of people to cover it on TikTok. Because to me, that's what makes music memorable. That's what makes music fun, is, how individual people in like the crowd resonate with it. And it's really nice to see. My Song of the Week playlist is going to be linked in the description. Definitely check it out if you use Spotify. We're not on Apple Music because I'm not on Apple Music. And no off the record today either. I don't really have much to talk about. So that's all we have for today. Be sure to comment down below some of your thoughts on the topics we talked about in this episode. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram. And I will see you guys next week with another episode of Amplifire. We're 2 for 2, back-to-back weeks. Hopefully we can get a third. Bye-bye.